You just mentioned whether retirement is enough, right? Right. Okay. So when I talk about retirement with you and your husband, I usually start by asking what your average age is. I don't focus too much on each individual. So what's your average age? You both are 44.
Around 40.
This is about death. So how much do you both currently have in your 401k and IRA assets that you've set aside for retirement?
Right now, it's about around 400,000, 400,000. Okay, so you have 400,000.
Okay, so I know that you and your husband are still working each year and contributing money into it. About how much do you both save in total each year, including your 401k and IRA combined? So combined, you max out, right? So you and your husband each contribute 30,000, one for you and one for him, right?
I bet 10,000 and he bet 19,000.
So that's not called maxing out. It's just 19,000. I contribute 10,000. So you both have about 20,000. Do you have a company match? The company match isn't very high, just 3%. Does your husband make around 100,000? How much does your husband match each year? Around 3,000. This way I can get an idea of how high his income is.
He matches about 3%, which is roughly 4,000, 4,005. So when you reach 150,000, do you have a match? I haven't gone.
So you have about 4,500 plus. You can put about 24,000 a year, right? Yes. It's good. You need to put in 24,000 every year, right? How much can you keep contributing until 54? Let's create a retirement plan for 64. And then for 74, take a look. Assuming this retirement plan grows at 7%, is that reasonable? If we put in 40,000, won't it reach 800,000 by the time you're 54? Right? Okay, so take a look. Assuming our retirement plan grows at 7%, do you think that's reasonable? Reasonable? Yeah, reasonable. So do you remember the rule of 72? If we put in 40,000, if this 400,000 grows at 7%, won't it reach 800,000 by the time you're 54? So that 40,000 becomes 800,000, right? Okay, so if you contribute 24,000 each year, that totals to 240,000, right? 24. So you know that this first amount of money has already doubled, but the last amount hasn't doubled yet, right? Right. So basically this 240,000 can double to about 120,000. So that 240,000 plus 120,000 gives you around 360,000. By the time you're 54, you'll have 1.16 million in your account. If you don't believe me, let's calculate it with the calculator. If you can maintain a 4% to 7% return and contribute 24,000 each year, you'll have 1.16 million, okay? Okay, good. We can use our financial calculator. Of course, I won't go into detail today, but you know the financial calculator can do the calculations for us, right? We have those tools. So let's just do a quick calculation. You don't necessarily have to do this in front of the clients. I'm just teaching everyone a bit. We have that. The investment calculator can calculate this right on the first page. For example, your family currently has 400,000, right? So you contribute 24,000 each year, right? Right? So if you contribute for 10 years, you'll wait 10 years, right? Waiting 10 years means you'll be 54, right? At 7%, let's see what the calculator says. 1.14 million. Do you see that? I calculated it to be about 100, so let's say 1.16 million. Assuming you work from 54 to 64 and don't touch this money, won't it grow to 2.3 million by the time you're 64?
Right, let's flip it again.
Yeah, 2.3 million is generally not a large amount of money that people would spend at 64. What else might there be? Do you believe that you might not start using your money until around 70? I believe that by 60, you might not necessarily be working anymore. So by 70 to 74, it could be around 4.6 million. I think by 70, you'll definitely have about 3.3 to 3.4 million. Do you agree? I agree. If you have over 3 million for retirement at a 5% return, that would give you 150,000 a year. So that's how I feel. I estimate that you might still contribute money from 54 to 60. Do you think you'll have enough for retirement? Oh, and we also need to include Social Security, right?
It feels like it's enough.
It should be fine. As long as you can contribute 24,000 each year for the next 10 years and get a 7% return, you just need to avoid being too greedy and you'll be good. You'll have enough. Really? Right. So where can we find that 7%? I'll explain it to you. If you contribute 19,000 each year, you and your husband should be fine, right?
No problem. Good.
That's all I have to say. So your retirement is sufficient. So what does your family still need to sort out?
Earlier, I was talking about whether our retirement savings are enough, and it looks like it is sufficient. As for insurance, we haven't sorted that out yet, but we've already calculated it.
There's still 1.5 million, and then there's education, right? We haven't uploaded that to the retirement quick calculation yet, right? Can we stop for a moment?